starting.
Can't retrieve reporter status. Now this is what she said would happen.
We're not started yet, right?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna answer a text message. Oh, never mind.
So this is done.
Is it can't buy the phone up by the computer?
Sorry,
Paperboard?
It's the shankiest auto we've ever had.
I don't know, the old army was pretty stitchy.
It's hard to hear. Like if somebody doesn't enunciate, it's impossible.
You wouldn't believe the amount of money that microphone's got.
You should have them like hanging like right here, or have like the Duke mics, or like
No, we had looked into it.
way more expensive. Where even is the microphone in the
Good. All right. I'll call to order the regular council meeting of Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. All right, starting on item number 2, adoption of agenda. There is a late item 9.4, so I'm going to recommend that council adopts the agenda with the late item 9.4 from the BC Rural Health Network initiative. Any seconder? Councilor Rabble, thank you very much. Okay, discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Item number 3, adoption of minutes. None. There's a note here that the minutes from the last council meeting held on October 4th will be on the November 1st meeting. Item number 4, introduction of late items, which is our late item 9.4. Oh, I did that early. Sorry about that. Which is from the BC Rural Health Initiative. Do you want me to do a re-vote on that introduction of late items? No. Okay, thank you. Item number 5, public hearings, none. Item number 6, delegations, 6.1 recommendation.
Recommend that council hears the delegation from STARS, Representative Glenda Fargan.
Can I get a second? Councilor Rabble, thank you. Alrighty, come on up. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's my pleasure to see all of you again and to bring you further updates. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your continued support, your additional support as you're a supporter to the Peace River Regional District. But we appreciate your additional support as, you know, the mission rate keeps climbing, fuel costs are rising, it's just never ending. Medical supplies, and so it really is hinged on partnership. So first I want to draw your attention to the lower left-hand corner. We are approaching on December 1st this year, 38 years that we have been providing services. And with that, we are going through a bit of a rebrand now. So you see the logo is just a little bit different. We have a different focus, a different vision, being that all the learnings that we learned through COVID, now we've been through all these wildfires. There's been great demand on us, especially from the rural communities and the rural hospitals for help, you know, with this respiratory distress. Now, you know, currently we're averaging 10 missions per day across our 6 bases in Western Canada. Of those 10 missions per day, now we're seeing like a 35% hike in call volume. And it's due largely to the wildfire situation. A lot of rural community hospitals and their medical personnel are calling for help, you know, with respiratory distress. We're also seeing a significant increase in what would I call unthinkable acts of post-COVID. And so with that as well, you know, then more and more the communities are really reaching to STARS for help. So with that, we want to take forward all the learnings, and with new technology now, we have brand new fleet, we have the latest and greatest in medical equipment and technology, we have wonderful, very high level expertise crews. So, you know, we've always been about saving lives. Now we want to find different ways that we can provide critical care anywhere. More to come on that, but this means whether we answer to calls physically with the helicopter or possibly virtually with our transport physicians and critical care. So of that, you know, of course, we are fueled by generosity. We previously had a 10-year affiliation agreement with Alberta Health Services for government funding of 20%. That expired in 2020, and we've been year to year after that. So last year, they did make an announcement that they would look at moving to 50% government funding for STARS. And so we're pleased to announce that at the very end of last year, we did receive a top-up to equal 50% of operational costs. So that's basically $15 million. It costs basically $10 million per base. There's 3 bases in Alberta. It's half of operational costs, which does not include the emergency link center or dispatch center, does not include education, does not include administration. So of operational costs only, of that 30 million, 15 million was the, you know, the top up. So now we are in very high level discussions with them, hopeful to secure another 10-year long service agreement. So more to come at a future update, or possibly at the end of the year, whether or not we are able to attain 50% government funding. And also for this year, we don't know yet what we're going to be receiving. On the expenditure side, now you'll see the orange and the blue. We're more than 80% of all expenditures are aviation and medically related. The smaller piece is the dispatch center, as well as base administration costs. This is our 3rd year in a row that we remain at 12%. CRA allows charitable entities up to 35% for administration costs. So we very much feel we are continuing to do our due diligence in this area. This is where we're at now for our municipal contributions across all of northeastern BC, throughout Peace River Regional District, as well as throughout the province of Alberta. So we've just added 5 more rural municipalities, as well as 6 more urban municipalities like yourselves. So we have 4 more asks pending. Those are the ones that are in the white that are still not current supporters. The rest, it's a pretty big sea of green, because the rest is all annual supporters of STARS. So with that, Peace River Regional District itself, which includes Village of Pooskookie, is one of our regional leaders. We are very proud to have Peace River Regional District logo on the helicopter. You're the very first interprovincial logo as well, so that's really you know, something to be very proud of. It is a united effort. When we're working all together, these municipal contributions annually are ensuring that all of us have access to a robust health and safety network. This is our almost a 5-year she did put 2018 in there. So almost 6 years of missions that have happened throughout the Peace River Regional District, including Village of Pooskookie. So I'd like to point out that, you know, missions have been kind of up and down. Back in 2018, you know, we were still working through challenges, trying to make sure that everyone knew how to access STARS. There was some interworkings to work out with Kamloops Dispatch Center. Since then, now we are having quarterly meetings with Kamloops Dispatch Center, with their leaders, with your key physicians that are on the BC side as well. So that's really changed the focus, and you can see that the mission rate continued to increase then, with them knowing how to call STARS, when to call STARS, these types of things. Now it's a little bit less this year, because now you have in place access to fixed wing services through Prince George, as well as helicopter, I believe. So that has kind of changed the face of when STARS would be available. You know, like we would still be the direct asset for your area, because you're immediately much more close located to the Grand Prairie base, and our response time would be much less for your area. So we would still be your main resource, you know. But it's really it's very wonderful that now your entire Peace River Regional District area has access to 2 different services available for when you need emergency critical care and response between STARS and in Prince George. So, I wanted to also mention here, before we go further, After almost 37 and a half years, STARS flew its record mission in all of those years, and it was from the Grand Prairie base. It was for a Peace River Regional District resident. So this is a really unique story. They say if we were to fly this particular mission in a straight line, it would be like flying from Calgary to Los Angeles. This patient was up at Chi House. We had to work with the Emergency Link Center. They rerouted everywhere ahead of time while we were flying to get to the patient, to know where all we could go in order to get fuel, in order to get back after we were able to get to the patient. So it's a really unique story, so I brought this for you as well. So that particular mission is not included in the next slide that I'm going to show you here. So this is 10 years in the making. This is utilizing patient postal code. No other patient information, only the postal code where the patient lived at the time they were flown by STARS. We were able to access data back to 2010. And so with that, let's look on the left-hand side first. Since I presented this last year to the Peace River Regional District, there's been 3 more Peace River Regional District residents flown this year so far. When we point out, like specifically for Pouce Coupe, then since 2010, there has been 3 residents. Now this is not a true, accurate account of every mission, because if we did not have the patient postal code, it's not included in this data. Some patient or some residents maybe live in Pouce Coupe, but they have a Dawson Creek postal code. So then, you know, that would not be a true account of all Pouce Coupe residents that have actually been flown. Now on this side of the map though, this is the more interesting piece, is these 69, it's actually 70 with that Chi House resident that's not included in here yet. 70 residents have been flown across BC as well as Alberta. 51 of them were picked up within Peace River Regional District itself, but 18 of them were flown from 10 other municipalities. This is testament to our partnership, why we are partners and why you support STARS. Your residents have access to STARS all across Western Canada. The Emergency Link Center receives over 36,000 emergency requests every year, 100 per day. Every day, 100 emergency requests. So they have access to every single resource across BC and Alberta as to who is the nearest response, you know, whether or not, well, other local responses are getting ready to go out. They help to coordinate everything on the back end. They also have, we have the STARS Vigilant program. That has more than 4,000 registered sites every year that are industry sites that are monitored by them. So if there was an incident in the rural areas and we know that there's an industry paramedic a kilometer down the road, we can contact them and send that paramedic while other local resources are ready to respond. So that's just another asset of being able to have every single resource available. This is where we were talking about critical care, physically and virtually. We now have our transport physicians taking a shift in the Emergency Link Center. So now that STARS has been named the dedicated critical care provider for Alberta, you benefit because we serve this area from the Grand Prairie base. With that now, our transport physicians provide all the medical and procedural guidance on every critical call. So regardless of the modus of transport, patient might be going by ground, they might be going by fixed wing. If it's of a critical nature, it's our transport physicians that are making all the determinations for the care, for the what response, for the receiving hospital, everything to do with the critical side of things. As well, sometimes our crew will go with that patient on a different mode of transport if it's deemed critical and they feel that that's necessary for that particular patient. They also, on the back end, they are doing the logistical scheduling with the receiving hospitals and the doctors. So that way, then we're saving time on both ends with fast, rapid transport, and they are doing all the logistical arrangements before the patient even arrives. So once we do arrive with the patient, They completely bypass emergency and go directly into trauma surgery or cardiac cath lab, whatever is needed for that patient. We have just completed our fleet as well. In October of last year, we received the 10th and final H-145 helicopter. So now all bases are H-145 operational. We've even had the opportunity over the last year to incrementally sell off our previous fleet. And so now all of those funds were attributed to the capital campaign. So I'm proud to say that all 10 helicopters are paid for. More than a $150 million capital campaign in less than 5 years. We also, last year, we celebrated more than 20 years of having night vision goggle capability. We were the very first civilian organization in North America to have this capability. So literally over those 20 years, tens of thousands of patients' lives have been saved because we were able to fly at night. 50% of our call volume is at night. So there is one slide that was missing. I don't know why, I'm sorry about that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a look inside some of the really highly specialized equipment that is so important for areas like yourselves, where we are bringing that intensive care unit environment right to the scene of the patient, right to your community. So starting with, it's not shown here, it is the iStat lab. It's just the size of a little cell phone, but it can provide rapid test results for hemoglobin, blood gases, even electrolytes. These are all vital components for when we're running, multiple pain management drugs for a trauma patient. In less than 2 minutes, we can have all of these test results while we're in the air. The Hamilton T1 ventilator is a fully featured ICU ventilator, exactly like what's in the tertiary care centers. But better yet, this one is made especially for transport systems. Very compact, but it also accommodates all sizes of patients, from adult down to neonatal. 2 units of universal blood. We were an innovative leader in North America, being the first helicopter EMS program to bring blood on board. It has literally been the difference between life and death. So this is universal blood that can be accepted by any one of us, O-negative blood. Video laryngoscope. Now that's an advancement in intubation. You can see that our crews can actually view the trachea right on the video screen. This is especially important when our crews are managing difficult airways, like trauma patients, maybe a burn victim, someone that's been crushed on impact. You can imagine that it is absolutely necessary and vital that we can intubate effectively and immediately for someone that can no longer breathe for themselves. And this was widely used during the couple of years of COVID when almost every patient had to be intubated.
I'm just gonna pause you there, Glenda. Can I get a motion to extend the delegation time past the 15 minutes? Councilor Rabel? Okay, can I get a seconder on that? Councilor Woodall? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried.
Thank you. Speed it up. Easy IO drill is, this has been around for quite a while, but they continue to perfect it, and now it's the size of a very tiny little handheld drill. It's only used in life-threatening sensitive cases when we must have immediate IV access. So with that, then, this allows us to drill into a shoulder bone or a thigh bone and actually be able to have immediate IV access. So very important for a trauma patient, for stabilization and pain management. Handheld ultrasound. Now you see that's the size of a cell phone too, as well. It provides rapid test results for collapsed lungs, internal bleeding, heart abnormalities, even fetal compromise in an ill or injured pregnant mother. So now with the way the new helicopters are equipped, they have integrated Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and satellite connectivity. So when we have these test results while we're in the air, we can transmit them in real time to the receiving doctors at the receiving hospitals so they know what is incoming. They can expedite their treatment plans. Again, pain management drugs. We carry a plethora of pain management drugs, including the thrombolytics for stroke or a query stroke patient. We have agreements with every hospital across Western Canada that's on the stroke protocol. So our transport physicians, once we know that we have a query stroke, they will contact the nearest hospital. We will be en route, they will let them know that we're coming with a query stroke so that patient can go in immediately to CAT scanner to identify if it's a type of stroke that warrants giving the thrombolytic drugs. And of course, when you have a brand new fleet, you have the greatest in technology with the state-of-the-art medical equipment, but it's also important to have the very best in critical care expertise in your crew. And so there is an air medical transport conference simulation competition each year. This is worldwide. We've been participating for 20 years now. It's where all teams of helicopter EMS will come and compete on the human patient simulators. They're graded for their expertise, their timing, their decision making, and the outcomes of the patient or the simulator. So with that, over the 20 years that STARS has participated, we always have our own internal competition, allowing only one final team of 2 to represent STARS internationally at this rigorous competition. In the 20 years that we have participated, remembering this is worldwide, we have been top 3 in the world all 20 years. Last year, this is our team from Saskatoon base, won first place. In those 20 years, this is the 7th time STARS has won first place. We are bringing your residents the highest level of critical care. So in closing, I'd just like to say thank you very much. We thank you for your leadership and your dedication to STARS and your support. Now, your current pledge of support, your additional pledge of support has been $10,000 per year, which we very much appreciate, especially for our northern base when it's very difficult for us we don't have the amount of people to draw from for support that the other bases have. You are on a 3-year pledge, which expires with your contribution this year. So I'm asking you if you would please, as a council, consider to renew your same previous pledge of support for another 3 years through 2026. With more than 10 missions happening every day, a life is literally saved every day. But it's partnership that makes that possible. Thank you, and thank you for the additional time.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
You guys have any questions?
Yes, does anybody have any questions? No? It was so thorough, we're all good, look at that.
Okay. Well, Sandy knows how to get a hold of you if you do have any questions, but, you know, I'd just like to say thank you very much. We really do. I know you're in budget deliberations too,
Yes.
so we really do appreciate your consideration. And I brought you a new calendar as well, so, and a couple of the new newsletters, so.
Okay, perfect.
Take a chance there's some really good information there.
Yes, we definitely will.
Thank you again for your time, I really appreciate it.
No
Thank
worries,
you.
thank you so much. It
Good
was
to
wonderful
see you again.
meeting you again, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your help too, Cindy.
Have a wonderful evening, drive safe.
I will, thank you.
We'll see ya. Alrighty.
No saying anything yet. You're not allowed to talk yet. Make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing here. Okay.
Okay, it works?
Well, it's still recording, so.
Alright. Anybody like to add anything on the delegation? Okay, alright, perfect. Alright, number 7, unfinished business and business arising from the minutes, none. Item number 8, new business, 8.1 recommendation.
The council approves administration applying for the Canada Heritage Grant for Canada Day celebrations to be held on July 1st, 2024.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Rabble, thank you. Discussion? Councillor Rabble?
Is there a set amount, or is it just, is it a limit, or does it,
We applied for 40,000.
all 40,000 and they give us what they give us?
Okay.
Fair.
We're hopeful each
Of
year.
It
course.
went up last year, so maybe it'll go up this year.
Yeah,
That's right.
optimism.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Okay. We good? Okay, 8.2 recommendation.
The council approves travel and accommodation expenses for one member of council up to $2,535 to attend BC Natural Resources Forum in Prince George from January 16th to 18th, 2024.
Are you a seconder? Councillor Johnston, thank you. Discussion? Councillor Whittle?
It's one of those things that, you know, with the extra money we've spent this year on other stuff, how are we, I guess this is for next year's budgeting season. Okay. So is this really something, I don't know, Councillor Rebel went last year, so is this something that you see a value of in somebody who's attending next year?
Councillor Rebel?
In response, so we sent a few people down last year, and that was great to make those connections as fresh eyes, but sending one person, or at least making room for that, makes sense, because we discussed this last council meeting. Making room for it makes sense. We don't have to send somebody, but allocating in the budget, but just one, right? Not the whole council. It's mostly a trade show, but there are those sidebar conversations. It is the Prince George region with their industries and industry partners, and also governmental connections. So there's some value for some representation. I would say making the room makes sense, but just for one. If none go, then that money is allocated elsewhere, hopefully.
I guess my question, oh, sorry, Ms. Hoops.
Administration needs to know so that we can reserve room, hotel room.
I guess my question
Why
to
this is on right now.
council would be, does any member of council wish to attend the Natural Resource Forum this year? Well, or next year, for them when this event is?
There is a virtual option.
There is a virtual option for those who wish to go, which is only about $200 and something, if I remember.
$249.
$249. I know last year we sent 2 members of council to kind of check it out and see what sort of benefits were brought back for the community. I think it was great that some of those connections were made, but I really didn't see any real meat kind of come from it. You know, when I think about the other important conferences that we're part of, such as the UBCM, LGLA, NCLGA, that are more locally northern based, I just really don't see the point at this point in even reserving one person. Like maybe that's something we could look at doing every 2 years rather than going every year. Because I really don't think there was that like a huge benefit. I'm glad that you guys went to kind of bring back to us what it was like, what this exact conference is, and you're right, it's more of like a larger trade show. And so because of that, I just think that, you know what, maybe this is something we can look at reserving a spot for one person for like every 2 years instead of every year. But at this point, don't really see a huge interest in anybody really going. And we have so many other big conferences coming up. You know, I was talking with staff prior, and like the UBCM conference is gonna be like the majority of our travel budget for next year already, looking at the cost, right? And so I don't think personally, my recommendation to council would just be to leave this one for this year and focus on more of our closer northern ones. Councillor Whittle?
Yeah, so, yeah, I think in all honesty, looking at this and the feedback we got, I think the virtual option and just registering, so we at least have that virtual option, I think would be the best course of action for us.
If nobody attends virtually, Ms. Stokes, do we lose that money or can we get it back? Like if somebody,
It's a certain window to cancel.
Yeah.
Look into it.
okay.
I don't know what the window is to cancel.
Councillor Ravel?
So in response, absolutely, it makes sense. So we did make some really great connections with NDIT, tourism, Prince George, tourism associations down there, industry partners and whatnot. For myself, I found it was really important to get that understanding, but now that that's there, now that those connections are made, we can, you know, work with them, and we are already working with it. NDIT, tourism associations, various industry partners. So I'd understand kind of skipping it for this year, maybe getting some of that information virtually makes sense. But then we could focus next year potentially on NCLGA and of course UBCM. So it does make sense if we want to forego it for this year, get the information virtually by somebody attending. Personally, I think that my January would be a bit busy. I appreciate going, but I have no intention of going in 2024. We built those connections, let's work on improving those connections, and maybe we do this in another year, I understand.
Okay, would you like to make a motion?
Well, essentially, we last time were thinking, hey, if somebody wants to go, let's make room in the budget, but since there's a deadline to it, personally, I'm not wanting to go in 2024, if there's another council member that wishes.
Yeah, I'm not wanting to go either. So, do you need a motion for us to
So,
just,
if you read the motion
No, we just vote.
and then vote,
yeah,
and you don't vote in favor, and then it's
there you
done.
go. All right, well then, I gotta go back to that, sorry. All those in favor of approving the travel and accommodation expenses for the Natural Resources Forum in Prince George?
I'm saying, if I may.
Yeah.
I'm saying in favor simply because making the room makes sense. I don't personally want to go, but I understand where everyone else is coming from, plus I made the motion, so.
Okay. Opposed? Okay.
Did you make it noted that you're opposed?
Oh, would the opposed like to be
No.
noted? I didn't.
No, I mean, this is super controversial.
Yeah.
I want it noted.
Okay, but
Jeez.
I'm gonna suggest one little tiny amendment.
Oh,
For
no,
virtual?
she didn't.
You guys didn't say anything about the virtual.
It's just dead in the water is what
Okay,
happened.
so no
I
one's
guess.
gonna attend, okay. I'll leave it alone.
Virtual, if I may speak to virtual is something else, you know, you watch it, you hear some of it, you know, the connection breaks halfway through, so, yeah.
Alrighty, okay.
Internet drops out.
Moving on to 9, correspondence. Does anybody see anything under correspondence? I think with it, like you had said, please just accept all the correspondence and then talk on it. Isn't that what your recommendation was to me last time?
No, the recommendation is if there's nothing to talk on, you just receive all for information. But if you're gonna talk on it, please talk on it in order.
Okay, well, I would like to talk on 9.2. Would anybody like to talk on 9.1?
Oh, sorry, 9.2, yep.
Okay, alright, so, 9.2 recommendation that council receives the letter from the NCLGA as information. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Rabble, thank you. Discussion? Councillor Rabble?
Oh, congratulations to those UBCM executive members for NCLGA. I wish them the best of luck, especially with Houston and Smithers hosting NCLGA in 2024.
Ms. Stokes, are we already registered for NCLGA 2024? No, I didn't think so.
It's a save the date,
Okay.
it's not a,
We'll bring it up another time, kind of a deal? Okay.
when travel opens, I'll bring a report forward. This part's just for info.
This for info, that was my main question. All those in favor of receiving it for information? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Okay, anything else on correspondence? Yes. Does anybody want to talk on 9.4? So, recommendation, late item 9.4, is regarding seeking written support for the Rural Health Network. They're seeking written, can I get a seconder on receiving this? Thank you, Councilor Johnston. The Rural Network is currently looking to receive written support for a project that they're currently looking for grant funding on. This is to uncover the relationship between local access to healthcare and the economic development and vitality in rural British Columbia. And basically having this data and the evidence to validate what we are witnessing is crucial to the support and the claim of the healthcare systems, and is directed to drive the rural economies, and that they believe that the data drawn from the project has the potential to have a positive effect on the healthcare and economical development for municipalities across rural BC. So they're really just looking for our written support so that they can apply for this grant funding. So any discussion or questions on that? Councillor Rabble?
Would this be, since it seems like a research-based project, would this be partnering with a post-secondary institution, like say, for example, UBCN or UNBC, sorry? Because them hosting it themselves, do they
Yeah,
have
well, this
experience with
was-
such a project?
Ms. Stokes?
So if you read the next page, this is the proposed letter. From what I get from them, they're working with UBC Center for Rural Health Research.
Oh, UBC, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Good. Any other discussion? I'd like to put a motion on the floor that we, direct staff to offer written support for the BC Rural Health Network. Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Well, you did all that reading ahead of time.
I even read it and highlighted it and everything.
Well, I didn't want to see go quick.
Thank you. All right, item number 10, resolutions, there's none. Bylaws, there's none. Administration reports, 12.1 CAO report. What you been up to, Ms. Stokes?
It's right there on paper.
She just loves that I ask her consistency for it every time.
And I don't really have much else to add, other than I am continuously in meetings these last few weeks. Can't really talk much about them, but lots and lots of meetings. There's lots of new things coming out. Government seems to want to add things to our desk that, yeah. So. That's about it.
How was the corporate officer forum as well? You made some new connections?
Yes, it was informative. I also attended some meetings while I was there from my hotel room. I attended the ESS with the regional board, PRD, but yes, it was very informative. But I don't think I'm gonna go next year.
Okay.
I've decided there's a different conference I wanna go to.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay.
I don't have much else to add. We've just been busy here, so.
Okay, perfect. All right. Item 12.2, action items. This is where my husband always lost, that's in my head.
I got an update on item number 10.
You got an update on item number 10? Okay.
Dawson Creek Citizens on Patrol. So I did reach out to the detachment commander for the RCMP, and he advised me that John Vetter was heading up the Citizens on Patrol, and I can't remember the other name of the organization, but now that they've teamed up, and they are looking at potentially doing some stuff out in Goose. So if there's people interested, John Vetter's the guy to contact, so I will leave his contact information with the village office. So if there's anybody that's interested, they can contact the village office if they don't already have it.
Do you know if they're okay with us putting that information in the Village Voice?
I will forward you John's contact information, and then you can touch base with
Because
him.
we've got one going out in the next day or two, so.
Okay, no, I'll forward that on to you, or probably sign it formally.
Okay. Anything else? All right, moving on to capital and special projects. Item 12.3. Ms. Stokes, I see they've already done some of the culvert work. They got one more to do, right, over
Yeah.
by the church?
And I've tried to find out when, but they haven't answered me yet, and our public works director is on holidays right now.
Okay.
So I will keep bugging the contractor to see when they're going to be doing
That
it.
explains why I see him unloading his truck this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought he had a day off.
Okay. Everything else looks great. Awesome. Any other questions about capital and special projects? None. All right, moving to council calendars. I know we're already halfway through October. Is anybody running away anytime in the next 2 weeks? Or in the month of November? Are you fleeing?
Not that I'm aware of.
No fleeing is happening. Okay, wonderful. All right, well then now we're moving on to reports. So 3.1, Councillor Johnston, how's life?
It's good. I did attend our meet and greet. It would have been nice to see a lot more people.
I know.
But it was good. There's a sustainable projects webinar I'm gonna attend on Friday. And that's about all I have to report.
Okay, wonderful. Councillor Ravel, 13.2.
Okay, so I attended, of course, the council meet and greet, and we got to interact with a few people that live in Poos, but of course, yes, having more people would have been wonderful, but the people that were here were wonderful, so that was really good. A lot of conversations about all kinds of different subjects. Some casual small talk, but honestly still got at some meat, so that was really good. Some substance, sorry. And then I also, with Councillor Wall, attended the Legion Schnitzel Night, but the reason why I mention it is because getting to know some community members, getting to understand kind of some needs on the ground, what people are looking for in the community, what their hopes and ambitions and dreams are for the community, different service providers, different people involved in the community, regardless, kind of the people that are already here, the people that were here, and the people that will be here, all that kind of fun stuff. So those kind of connection building. And then other hats in regards to council, some stuff going on, but we were only here 2 weeks ago, so I'll save those updates for next time, simply because they're kind of in formation now. So, thank you.
I heard you went to the Schnitzel dinner and you were very well received.
Oh, really?
I heard from multiple people. They had a wonderful time. Yes.
Try not to be too big for my boots.
Like, I'll try and make sure my head does fit through the door on the way out. Yeah, no, it was really, really good. Everybody was very happy to see you there, and I heard that you guys had lots of conversations and were mingling.
Yes.
So it sounds like it went really, really well. That's awesome.
That's good. It takes people. That's the fundamental underlying piece. Is it takes people. You can have all the policies and establishments and all this and all the funding in the world, but it's actually people who volunteer their time.
No, exactly. Councillor Wall is away with notice, so he doesn't have his report here, but I know he was at the Schnitzel dinner.
I apologize if I may.
Yes.
The Legion is doing a fundraiser for their roof. That is a piece. I don't know what that looks like exactly right now,
Okay.
but they are constantly accepting donations for roof repairs. But I'm wondering about how, community members could come together and assist the fundraising efforts. But regardless, Legion is looking for donations for their roof repairs, which could be upwards of $15,000.
We've already been working with them.
Oh, look at that. I was just about to ask her. Have you heard anything? I totally knew she was on. Wonderful. Thank you.
Like 10 years.
Oh,
Something like that, but
yeah.
they've been working on grants for it for the last 6 weeks.
All right. Okay, Councillor Whittle, you're up.
Alright, so also attended the council meet and greet, which is great. So yeah, and the other thing I wanted to actually ask staff about is it came from here the other day. I was in Dawson Creek, I was driving down the road, right when school got out. And there was we'll say some of the local wildlife in Dawson Creek sitting on the bridge, partaking in narcotics as there's kids going by. So I wanted to ask staff, I know we have a smoking bylaw in Pooskoopi, similar to what we have in Dawson, at least I believe we do. What would it take to look at doing what other municipalities have done with adding illicit narcotics to that for being banned in public use places? So places like the park, the skate park, because currently right now, there's nothing stopping somebody from doing that, right? Not even a bylaw to really enforce the use of that if somebody's say in a skate park or in public areas. And I know other municipalities have looked into it. So I was wanting to know if that's something that we could potentially put on the radar of staff to look into for Pooskoopi, how that would work. Just to give us some potential teeth in, as this program progresses.
So there is new legislation coming out from the provincial government pertaining to this.
Oh, okay.
It's in the reading stages right now. We learned about that at the corporate office report. But yes, there will be, it's to ban, all those other substances.
Yeah, because
So within, the same rules would apply to smoking, no smoking within 6 feet or whatever it is to the door and.
Yeah. Because it took everything I had not to turn around and start yelling at crackheads smoking up as
Where
children
is
are
this?
walking by. Right across the bridge, right by Kin Park there, right on 10th Street, right by Central, in the library. Yeah, there was somebody sitting there smoking a crack pipe as kids were walking by after school. And I would hate to see that potentially migrate its way out this direction, and it'd be nice to have some teeth to be able to deal with that. So that,
We'll look into it.
yeah, because, we want to be a community, or a family-minded community, and that's not healthy. And then I've had reports from other people that there's other parks and stuff, not within our municipality, but within neighboring municipalities, where families don't feel safe just because of the, drug use and potential sharps and that kind of stuff, so.
Question on Councillor Rebel, or to add to?
If it's appropriate, if I'm able to.
Sure.
So yes, what I've been hearing is other municipalities are going down the avenue of existing smoking legislation or smoking bylaws, but then also public nuisance bylaws, kind of as the two
Well, so if
avenues.
you put it to staff and then staff can bring back kind of,
Yes. I think Councillor Wall was looking into some of that as well, so.
yeah, we've had some conversations about it as well.
Wonderful. Anything else?
Nope, that was pretty much it, other than I won't be at the November 1st council meeting, as I got some family stuff I gotta take care of, so.
Alrighty. I just sent my mayor's report to you and Miss Green, so that sound was I've got to start muting my computer. Alrighty, mayor's report. So October 5th, I met with staff to get the community update and discuss some budget ideas for 2024. October 10th, I attended the Rural Economic Diversification and Infrastructure meeting via Zoom with Ms. Stokes. So this is something that came up, I think from UBCM, if I remember correctly, where we had met with them during our table talk kind of a deal, and they had talked about lots of grants. And I know myself and Councillor Wall were quite excited about them, so we set up a meeting. And I attended the meeting, and sadly, we went through the list of common ineligible projects, and every grant idea we need for our communities, such as the lagoon, park updates, infrastructure, and emergency services, was on the ineligible list.
Really?
Yes. It was the saddest 10 minutes of my life. The list is quite endless. So they currently, the grants we're looking for are ineligible for the Rural Economic Diversification and Infrastructure, but they do have a really good ECDEV grant that covers up to $100,000 at 100%. So that is something that we might be looking into come 2024. That was about the only one that I was like, okay, well, we may be able to access that. But yeah, every project that we've all been interested in doing was on the ineligible list. Shoot, I know, yeah. So then October 12th, I attended a meeting with staff to do a check-in on how things are progressing in the community. On the same day, I also attended a meeting with Constable Hughes to catch up on things happening in our community and just did a general check-in. On October 12th, I also attended the mayor and council meet and greet, and I'd just like to thank the staff who organized and prepared the whole evening. Thank you all so much. You did a wonderful job. Everything was fantastic. Thank you to Love and Pizza, who we got the yummies from. They were so good. They were absolutely delicious. I think we ate far more of them than anybody else did because it was literally.
You're still enjoying them.
You're still enjoying them. Oh, there you go. So thank you to Love and Pizza, who provided the yummy treats. They had cakes and all kinds of stuff. And while only 2 people showed up, I was so glad to get to know them and meet them, and 3 people. 1 barely counts. But
There's still 3 people.
it was nice to really connect. One of the members of the public who showed up was new to the community. He's only been here for 18 months. So they had lots of questions and lots of things that they wanted to chat on, so it was really nice to speak with them. So on another note, so I know we're doing our old-fashioned Christmas on November 24th, and I wanted to bring an idea to council. Over the summer, I personally, not wearing my mayor's hat, ran a community market, a summer market over the summer. It was very successful. I made a lot of contacts, and I was able to kind of connect with different vendors and stuff, and I was wondering if council would be interested in me, as a resident, organizing a Christmas market. I was wanting to approach council first and find out if you guys were okay with it. If you're fine with it, I was going to speak to the church about using their annex building and hosting it in there. I would not charge any table fees. I didn't charge any over the summer either. I made it completely free. And it was really just people coming out, coming into the community and drawing other people in. Miss Stokes, yes.
You can't use the annex.
What if I ask?
You can't,
Why not?
because that's where Santa Claus goes, in the library.
Oh.
I told you where you could have it.
Where? Where'd you say again? Oh, in here. Oh, yeah. I want to do it in here. Sorry, I forgot about that. My brain was so set on one building.
Staff was got it all planned out.
I know. So the staff is really excited to shop at the old-fashioned Christmas, and if you say no, you're gonna just definitely go.
Amazon in person.
Yes, right. I would like to host it in here because the annex is being used. Sorry, thank you, Ms. Stokes.
I think you should do it.
I would charge no table fees, it'd be completely free, it'd just be getting people out to our community and hopefully draw more public out for our old-fashioned Christmas.
I think it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Okay, get some, do they need a motion?
Yeah, let's do a motion.
Let's do a motion.
I'll make a motion for the thing. For the Christmas.
Motion to add Christmas market to Old Fashioned Christmas.
That's what my motion says.
Okay.
I'm gonna second it.
Councilor Johnson's gonna second it.
If I may,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't at all mean to be a party pooper on this one, but are you approaching council as a citizen and not as the mayor? I'm a bit confused about that, because usually that's a delegation.
I know, I really sort of can't kind of do both. I can really only wear one, but I like to be like, I'm personally gonna do it, but really, I'm like always the mayor, so it will be me organized, I don't know, how does that work?
We're actually gonna take it away from you.
Oh, perfect, I'm just gonna give you all the phone
So
numbers?
staff.
Staff is going to orchestrate a Christmas market.
That's what my motion was.
Okay. That seems
Perfect.
less.
I'll make up a motion, you'll just agree.
Um,
Works for me.
And I'll just give you all the numbers. I'll help.
We'll talk.
Okay.
You guys can discuss that offline.
Yes.
Councilor Brown.
I do not mean to be the squirrel in the mud here. Is there concerns about liability and tax remittance with hosting a market under the village banner?
No, because it's a village-run function, everything falls under our insurance. We're not
All right.
collecting any money, there's nothing in it for us,
Yeah,
other than the fact we're letting them put tables in here.
fair.
And our staff will be in the building, so there is no liability. Well, there is, we're covered. Somebody will be here.
Okay, all those in favor?
Staff to
Wait.
host-
Don't you dare.
Staff to host Christmas market, right?
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
No, unanimous and carried. Big meetings.
I'm the big me, I'm the.
Okay, so, there is no question period because nobody's here. Again, you all have questions. This is the longest in camera.
You can say, you can just abbreviate it by saying that council moves to in-camera as per section 91, sections F,
I'm fine.
F, I, K, and K.
Can you take your radio voice?
No.
I love it when he does
There's
it.
radio voice. Okay, I've never missed 15. Who's reading it?
Okay. In camera, as per section 91 of the community charter recommendation, the council moves to in camera as per section 91, subsections F. Law enforcement, if the council considers that disclosures could reasonably and be expected to harm the conduct of an investigation under enforcement of enactment. I. The receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. K. Negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are in the preliminary stages, and that if, in the view of council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. K. Negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are in the preliminary stages, and that, in the view of council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public.
Why didn't you